Welcome back. Yesterday there was the Dropsite Massacre preview where we got to see all of the contents of the new Saturnine box in all its glory in crispy HD, not blurry potato cam. The thing is, we need to take a look at this. We have to see what this stuff is in pictures that are actually legible. And we're going to do that right now. If you were planning to pick this box up when it eventually releases, presumably at some point you'll want to transport those models to and from games, which I happen to have an excellent recommendation for because this video is sponsored by WarMag. Now, if you're not familiar, WarMag is the best miniature storage and transportation system. What you do is you get your really useful box, like one of these. You get one of your base sheets, like that. You get your miniature and you put their special magnets that go within the rim of the base. You attach it like so, and then you rag it around, because you can. WarMag are constantly and consistently updating their catalogue with new designs for the base sheets, such as this one. They have an absolute ton of these base sheet designs, by the way. You will absolutely find something that you like the look of. But if you're looking for something a bit simpler, or perhaps you're going for a more budget-friendly transport system, they also have plain and coloured sheets as well. You can get extra strong base sheets, you can get extra large base sheets that you cut down to size, and when it comes to the magnets themselves, you have a significant amount of choice as to how many you buy. They've recently updated their catalogue so that you can get smaller packs like this, and they've introduced larger magnets for your bigger models. Use the link in the description down below to check them out at warmag.com and take a look at the combo section. There is a combo they do which is the bare bones double-decker storage system. That's it, 9 litre really useful box. You've got a tray and you've got a lid, and you get 2 of their black hole, the plain black base sheets. Really good way to start off. Thank you very much to WarMag for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to it. Now let's have a look in this box. There's quite a lot of stuff in there, but we already kind of knew that from the leaks. There was still people I noticed today going, oh, I really didn't think those leaks were real. Games Workshop put them on the rumour site. I kind of assumed they were real from that point on, unless they wanted to advertise fake stuff on their fake site that was a real site that, yeah, it's over and done with now. Let's just take a look at what's in here, plus some tasty extras, one of which is the Fellblade in plastic, which that alone makes me happy, but then of course it would, wouldn't it? I quite like tanks, have you noticed? Anyway, what have we got in the box? We sort of already know. A whole bunch of infantry, a whole bunch of dice and tokens, some measuring sticks, and obviously your blast templates. And it's worth noting just from that picture right there that, good lord, those are some massive Terminators. Now, I didn't really grasp the scale of them fully when we just had the blurry pictures to go off, when we had the potato can pictures, but look at the size. Look at the girth on that lad, compared to just a Mark II character right there. Look at that. That is insane. Why is he so big? So we've got 50 miniatures, we've got 352-page Age of Darkness hardback rulebook. Surely that's going to inflate the price a little bit. A construction guide, fine. Reference sheets, weapon templates, 21 dice, 20 d6s and 1 scatter, range ruler, 40 tactical status and objective tokens, and 1,172 decals. That's a lot of decals. So that's a level of patience that I simply don't have. Starting off, this is weirdly the thing I've ended up being most sort of excited about out of this box, outside of the Dreadnought, because obviously, I mean, it's me. What did you expect? Really? It's me. Of course I'm most excited about the Dreadnought, but the Mark II Marines, I really like them. They look absolutely solid. They look great. They also, now that we've got these, I am less sort of surprised / bothered about the Mark III redesign we got back when it was it the last box that we had? Either way, no, it wasn't the last one, was it? Either way, that Mark III redesign I wasn't a big fan of because they changed the helmets quite significantly and the armour itself just wasn't, I don't know, it just didn't hit the same as the original designs. Although them being rescaled did make them look a bit better proportions-wise. These look fantastic, and these feel closer to the older Mark III that we got before they did the redesign. And I know that the two marks of armour aren't that dissimilar visually, but these are scratching the itch. Like, these are filling the hole. Oh, dear lord. These feel like what I wanted from that original set of Mark III. They're obviously different in quite a few places, but the overall vibe, the overall feel of them, I don't know, I'm really liking these. I think they work super well. The helmets look great. I love the level of trim that you've got on the shoulder pads, the segmented sections of armour on the legs. I've always loved those. There's also little bits of the chest that look really good, those kind of, like little furrows in the chest, like across the breastplate. I don't really know what to describe them as, those little lines, there's like 3 of them. I really like the detail of that, and the kind of exposed armour sections as well, the bits they've done silver on these. Overall, just very, very visually pleasing. And I will say, look great in Salamander's colours. Obviously, they look better in Iron Warrior's colours, but they look very good in Salamander's colours. They do look really good in Iron Warrior's colours, though. Let's be honest, they look great. That kind of gunmetal look, nice and shiny, but there's a nice bit of weathering going on in the recesses. Oh, it looks so nice. And the hazard stripes look fantastic. I love the weathered hazard stripes. I prefer that to the kind of, like, the well-maintained ones. The really clean stripes, those look technically very impressive, but I like the weathered ones because they look a bit more used. I don't necessarily want to hazard a guess as to what some of the guns are until I've had a look through the rest of the article, because obviously we've got bolters, we've got bayonets, sort of. I mean, chainsword bayonets is such a stupid idea, and I love it. It's great. Like, what a daft thing. Brilliant. Like, they look great. They look really, really good. The helmets, especially, like the single visor, such a good look. Such a good look. Got some examples in other colour schemes as well. The Space Wolf one looks really nice. I like that a lot. The White Scars one looks incredible. That's, oh, that white. That slightly weathered white. Oh, yeah. Here we go. So there's 36 new disintegrator weapons. A mix of pistols, rifles, blasters, and heavy disintegrators. Okay, cool. Now, the Centurion in Mark II power armour looks absolutely solid. Maybe a bit busy, there is a lot going on there, but there's a gravitas there. There's a gravitas. I really like how the power maul echoes the Crozius that we'll see chaplains using in later times. That's very fun. The cape looks fantastic. I love the way the shoulders are partially covered at the top there. That looks awesome. Servo skull is excellent. That helmet is mad, and I really like it. It feels like the single lens is absolutely massive. It feels like it goes down way further than any of the helmets, but it looks really cool, but I couldn't really tell you why. We've got more of those medallions that I always forget what they are and whether they're just like a symbol of rank or commendation or whatever, but they look good. That big central piece on the belt, though, that looks great. With the chainmail behind it and then the armour plates in front, oh, yes. We've also got the Arachne Quad Accelerator platform, which seems to just be the same armaments that you get on the Sakaran, but on a platform instead, which is fine. I mean, you can't really argue with just 4 big guns strapped to thing. It's a winning formula, and it does well every time. I like the design of the legs, they look really good. I mean, it looks like a fun, fast, deployable little bit of like defensive armament that you can plop down. Looks great. Now, the Saturnine Terminators. This is where things get a little bit weird. Interesting, but weird. So, in the stream itself, they talk about how these are piloted. Piloted kind of implies that it's less direct. It's not like you just put your legs in the legs, your arms in the arms, and you're good to go. Which, for these, would make no sense anyway. It wouldn't make any sense for these Terminators at all, because the size of them is hilarious. So these are screenshots taken from the stream, which were put together by CMYK Colour Mode on Reddit. Shout out to them, because it meant that I didn't have to do this, because they'd already done it, so that's helpful. Look how big that Terminator is. I mean, that's Vulcan next to it. That is huge. That is absolutely colossal. I mean, oh my god. The scaling is so far off on these, it's unreal. I don't know, when they say they're piloted, are they balled up in the chest? Do they have to have their limbs removed to be fit into them? Because, my god, that is huge. Like, just the scale is so different to the normal Mark II Marines. Now, of course, when it comes to Terminators as a whole, obviously they're bigger. They are obviously bigger. But, at the same time, the proportions aren't that different. The proportions are relatively the same. These Saturnine Terminators are just... They just are not... They're built different. Literally built different. I mean, the thigh gap you need to wear this, to actually be in it, in a human position. Unreal. You'd be in awful pain for a lot of time, right? I just don't... I don't understand how they function. Now, I have had a look through this article, so what is Saturnine pattern Terminator armour, and it's not created by the Mechanicum on Mars. It's the secretive tech enclaves of Saturn, towering over all of the Legion infantry. Yeah. But it still says, a Space Marine enclosed in a suit of Saturnine Terminator armour is an impervious juggernaut of death. So there's still a guy in there. There is still a dude in there. It just says that the tech represents the pinnacle of human defensive technology with stronger shields, more powerful generators, thicker armour, and a more durable warframe. Despite these advantages, complexities of production meant the Saturnine armour quickly became less common than other less advanced suits. I mean, well, yeah, such as Cataphractii and Tartarus patterns. But it still doesn't say how it works. Because they're just so... The scaling is so different. They are so big. Like, just absolutely colossal compared to even other Terminators. But that's a whole other video, right? That's a whole other video. We're going to go into that a little bit more at some point. But just for now, I can't quite wrap my head around how they function. Which, I mean, it's 40k. It doesn't really matter that much. And there's plenty of stuff that I do like in 40k that, you know just wouldn't work. Or would be horrendously inefficient. Or would do a backflip when it fired its gun or whatever. But I think the thing that I'm finding jarring about these... In fact, no, that is what I'm finding jarring about the Saturnine Terminators. Even though I love myself a big girthy lad, and these are big girthy lads, like they've got girth for days, right? Games Workshop has been taking great pains to rescale all the Space Marine stuff. So when they've updated stuff, or they brought it to plastic from Heresy, when they, sort of redid Space Marines very, very slowly over the course of years in the form of the Primaris stuff, they have changed the scaling. They've made the scaling more accurate. They've made it a bit more realistic. Not realistic, but they look like they would fit a well-proportioned human, as opposed to, having like squat legs, or the torsos being a bit short, or, overall, they've done a lot to improve that over the years. And then they've introduced these, where all of the improvements they've made for everything else still don't work. They still don't explain how someone could fit in this. And it's sort of them being classed as Terminators, you would assume it's just exactly the same as anything else. But you would need Primarch-sized dudes to make these make sense, which flies in the face of all the other stuff they've done to change how Space Marines are scaled. So I guess there's a little bit of, like, cognitive dissonance going on, where I'm like, I kind of like the designs. They do look very advanced for like, 30k. I mean, 30k did have some interesting technologies going into it, but these next to Mark II, there's a very significant difference there in terms of like development, in terms of tech used kind of thing, which is a little bit jarring, but I'm not too fussed about that. I do like them. I just want to know how they work, because that difference, that big difference between we are rescaling everything so it makes more sense, and then bam, Primarch-sized Terminators, is a weird jump. It's a weird jump that is just a little bit jarring for me personally. But that's just me. You may totally disagree. That's totally fine. Yeah, I mean, I like the loadouts that they've got. The weapons look really cool. The big chunky shield generators in the shoulders, I quite like them. They are very, very torso heavy. Like that original sort of 1988 Space Marine and Terminator armour, he was quite slim in the chest. These, they've bulked out hugely, which I think they kind of needed to do, or the proportions will be even more off than they already are. But yeah, I'm kind of in two minds. I think I like them. But at the same time, there's just a couple of things that are bothering me a little bit. The big old plasma bombards look fantastic. They look absolutely ridiculous. Love them. Great. Again, we've got them in different colour schemes. I really don't like the White Scars one. It's too much white. It's just a big block of white. It's not really my thing. The Iron Warriors one looks decent. The Iron Hands one, though, looks absolutely perfect. Look at that. Oh, in that colour scheme, I'm liking them more. Maybe these are just very colour dependent for me. Because that looks great. I really like that. Of course, we've got the Praetor Saturnine Terminator armour, the guy who looks the same size as Vulcan. That's pretty funny. I'm saying same size as Vulcan. Obviously, the head is way down. The head is way down there. Not actually the same size, but sort of like the armour is the same size, even if the dude inside the armour is not. He's also a little bit busy. The gigantic hammer is hilarious. I do quite like it. Doesn't seem at all feasible or practical given the size of the guy holding it in a weird way. The mobility of that guy is laughable. Look at the size of the shoulders. The arms barely protrude out. He's not going to be able to do anything with that hammer, but on the other hand, a giant hammer in the hands of a giant dude in giant armour is unquestionably cool. As such, we'll let it slide. Love that rope detail on the front. That looks really good. The iron halo is mad in how big it is. I quite like this script and the kind of inscriptions on the shoulder pads themselves. That's quite cool. Although in doing that, they've got rid of the two little bits that look like the shield generators or shield projectors or whatever in the front of the shoulder pads, which is an interesting choice. Because that makes it seem like those are optional. And I didn't think those were optional. Now, of course, they're probably just gubbins for gubbins' sake on the rest of the Terminators, but I think I would have liked to have seen that kept consistent, honestly. But that's a good-looking dude. A ridiculous-looking dude, but a good-looking dude. Don't take that out of context. Now, the Dreadnought. As is traditional with every new Dreadnought that Games Workshop makes in any way, shape or form, this Dreadnought is a slightly different Dreadnought because you've got to be even more hardcore to be in this Dreadnought. I mean, come on. They've pulled that card a few times now. They've done that a few times. It's like we have a new Dreadnought to unveil. Oh, does it require slightly more willpower or greater strength of soul to power? Or does it kill the Marine that's interred in it? And they go, well, we did that last time, so we'll go for the other one. It just sort of seems to flip-flop between the two. Depending on which Dreadnought they unveil, you get either, you got to be stronger than normal for this, or you're going to get burnt out quicker than normal for this, which, it's fine. The Dreadnought itself, I really like it. But of course I really like it. It's a new Dreadnought, and they're very good at making Dreadnoughts, and it's solid. It has gigantic cannons, which look insane. The shoulders are weirdly better proportioned on this than they are on the Terminators for my personal taste, and it just looks really good. I just don't really have any complaints. I really like it. It's big, it's stompy, it's very heavily armed. Scale-wise, it's also huge, by the way. Absolutely massive. I mean, look at the state of that. Look at it. It's absolutely gigantic. It's not quite like knight-sized, but it's... oh, that's got some heft to it. I will say, then putting it next to the Leviathan, mild take incoming, the Leviathan still looks better. It still looks better. The Saturnine Dreadnought looks good, don't get me wrong. I like the shared design elements between, well, the three of them on these. It's a decent-looking Dreadnought. It's a good-looking walker. It's not as good as Leviathan, though, is it? It's still not quite as good. My absolute favourite is still my absolute favourite. It's still got to go to Leviathan. And even though that hurts, because that one's in Imperial Fist colours, I'm still saying it out loud. Despite the Saturnine being bigger, for some reason the Leviathan looks more chunky, but I can't really work out... oh, maybe it's actually... I think I can work out why. It's because it's way more boxy, isn't it? So the Saturnine, you've got a lot of curves. That waist is quite pronounced due to the way the chest kind of funnels into itself. Got multiple layers, but it becomes quite skinny at the bottom. Also, the legs, you've got that section that isn't really armoured as well. It makes it look a bit lankier, and it looks super heavily armoured where you've got the shoulders and the chest, but then you've got these thinner sections as well that really kind of... it pares it down a bit. It makes it look a bit less hefty in some areas, which overall makes it look a bit less hefty than the Leviathan overall. I do really like it though. I'm going to end up with at least one, probably three, just like every other variant of every goddamn Dreadnought, because I have a compulsion and a problem, and I refuse to get help. I just buy more Dreadnoughts. I will say though, that Space Wolf Saturnine Dreadnought, oh, that colour scheme, absolutely, that rules. That absolutely rules. Look how good that looks. Oh my god, yes. Now, as I mentioned before, we've also got the Fellblade. That's coming out in plastic. That's excellent news for tank addicts such as myself. And when I say excellent news, I mean bad news, because I don't need any more tanks. And yet, I will end up with one of these. You got all the different loadouts, but there is a slight problem with one of them. The Gravis Heavy Bolt Battery looks janky as hell. I don't know what's going on here. Let me zoom in a little bit more. Here we go. What is this? Right. This is not great. This is not great. I don't like this. If you look just here, where my cursor is, it's like they just copy and pasted the top heavy bolters underneath, but just in the magazine. Like, why is it going through there? That join, I mean, it kind of works, but it doesn't look... It looks like it's clipping through it. And I think it asks a very sensible question. How do you reload these top ones? Like, is it that the bit that's... The middle is hollow and the gun goes through it? And so you've got like a sort of U-shaped thing that you take off and then you put a fresh one in? Is that how that works? I'm not a gun expert. This could make total sense, and I could just be being stupid, and that's totally fine. I'll hold my hands up to that if that's true. But it doesn't look right at all to me. It just doesn't look right. It genuinely looks like the sort of thing that I used to do when kit bashing. When I was a kid, when I first got into this hobby, I would love kit bashing, but I wasn't very good at it. And quite often I would go, well, I'll just stick that on there. It looks all right. And it didn't look all right. It looked like I'd just stuck something on something else that didn't belong. That's what that looks like to me. It looks really off. I don't understand how that works at all. But again, I could be being just dumb and ignorant, and that's totally well, it's not totally fine. But if that is the case, I'm more than happy to admit that I am. But it just doesn't look right. Like it looks like a copy paste job, and it doesn't look like much thought went into it because it visually is really off. It looks like it impedes how the top guns work. And also, is it just that are the bottom ones longer because they go through that magazine? I can't really tell. I mean, actually looking at it, no, it's not a copy paste job. It's not a copy paste job at all, because the lower ones, where is that the ejection port just there? Where that is on the bottom ones, it doesn't stick out as far. But now I'm thinking that this section here, this bit here, on the bottom guns, it looks like the two magazines are joined together. Like they've been sort of melded a little bit because they're closer together. I think the top guns are a little bit further apart. The bottom ones are a little bit closer together. I think that is confusing. That is a mess. I'm just going to say it. That don't look good to me. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work for me. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that one. Overall, the Fellblade looks great. It's a great looking tank. I really like it. But that specifically, no, not feeling it. Not feeling it. Sorry. It wasn't just that though. We've got more guns. Along with the Arachne quad accelerator platform, there's also the Tarantula sentry guns as well. We've got Volkite, we've got Melter, we've got heavy bolters, we've got las cannons by the look of things. Plus, we've got rapier weapons platforms. Look how cute these are. Look at them. Absolutely adorable. I love them. I genuinely really like these. They're so... Oh, God. I know they serve a purpose, and I know full well that it makes sense to have something like this. But there is just something about tiny tracked creations that they just look cute. They just look cute. There's no two ways about it. There's nothing you can do about it. You just got to accept it. You got to accept the cuteness into your life, and you've just got to deal with it. I love them. Absolutely brilliant. Plus, they come with crew, everything interchangeable, which is nice. That's one of the nice things about the Horus Heresy stuff, actually. Pretty much everything is just interchangeable between the different kits. Yeah, we've got some new crew as well. They look really good. And they're finally bringing other squad types to plastic as well. So we've got new Mark II Assault Marines. The axe looks great. The jump pack looks fantastic. absolutely first-class effort. And breaches. Breaches, finally. I've seen so many people asking for breaches for so long. It's absolutely ridiculous how long it's taken for this to happen. But, hey, got there in the end, right? Got there in the end. They also did a couple of sneaky teasers. That is very clearly a Cataphractii Terminator, so I'm assuming they're redoing that kit, but rescaled a bit. Doesn't feel like it's been that long since the first lot came out, but maybe it has been. It's kind of difficult to keep track, you know? I have genuinely lost the ability to work out which kits came out in which year at this point, so. Plus, we've got new Mechanicum on the way, new plastic Mechanicum. That looks super interesting. Really love the design of the legs. That looks great. The gun looks incredibly dangerous as well. Very weird, but very dangerous. Classic AdMech, I guess. Sorry, classic Mechanicum. And to finish off, that's clearly a Custodian, isn't it? That's cheeky. That's cheeky. Could it be that they are getting rescaled? Are they getting updated? Are they going to be a little bit more fancy, a little bit taller, a little bit more well-proportioned? Who knows? Could be a single character and that's all you get. I apologise. I shouldn't have put that evil on you, but it's always a possibility. So there you go, that's most of what was shown off in the Saturnine preview stream. There might be a couple of things we missed, but I don't think so. Let me know if there's anything that I have, and we'll go over it during the next week or so. I'm I'm happy with what we got there. There's some good looking stuff. The Mark II Marines look fantastic. The Dreadnought looks brilliant. I really like the Arachne quad accelerator platform. That looks good. The Terminators I'm kind of back and forth on. I think I like the design. I would just like to know how they work, because they look jarringly big, which is not something I normally have an issue with, but for some reason this time round, I want to know more, you know? I just want to know more. Anyway, let me know what you think of that a lot in the comments down below. Thank you once again to Warmag for sponsoring this video. You can use the link in the description and in the pinned comment to check them out, and I will see you for whatever comes next, I guess. Another blurry leak? Probably not.